Well, greetings, mathletes, and welcome back. We're going to take a quick look at how to type some of this math. Now, there's certain things we're going to need to type as we go forward, as far as the discussion boards and stuff. And not every application that types mathematics works exactly the same way. So I want to make sure we understand how this one works, and we'll go from here. So this is the Canvas discussion board, and this is the equation editor in the discussion board. So what I've done here is I've created a what do you call it, a dummy discussion in somewhere where you guys, it won't mess with your class. And what we're going to do is we're just going to try to type a couple of things. So the first thing I want to take a look at is how to type a fraction. There is more than one way to do this, but probably the most straightforward way is to go to the insert menu, go to equation. Now you have a what do you call it? You have a field here. This is where whatever you create is going to show up, and then when you're done with it, you click Insert Equation, and it drops it back into the discussion board. So that's how it works. So let's say we want to type a fraction. So we're going to look around for the right symbol here, and it looks like it's right here. And if I click it, it opens up a fraction here for me. So if I want a 2 there, I can type a 2. And now if I go to the bottom one here, now notice I'm just clicking it with the mouse to move where the cursor is. I have 2/3, and if I want to insert it into my discussion, I just click Insert Equation. So there's my 2/3. Okay, let's look at some other stuff here. So that's fractions. One of the other things that you're going to want to be able to do is do exponents and subscripts. And so those are here, okay? So if I want to write, like in the slope formula, you have things like x2 minus x1. If I want to type x2, I start by typing my letter, right? So I just type that on the keyboard. If I want a subscript, I click here, and you notice it shows up for me. So there's my x2, and I just click out of the box to get out of it, right? So there's a subscript. If I want a superscript, I don't know if I can jump to another line or not. It won't let me. Okay. If I want a superscript now, which is like an exponent and things like that, I can do that as well. So if I want something like x to the 4th, well, I use this button right here. See, it says SUP, that's for superscript. And I type that in, and I can hit Insert Equation, and there it is, right? There's my symbol. And it looks like you can go back and edit it. I didn't realize you could do that. So that's kind of nice. Now, so those are like the main things. You'll notice too, there's like Greek, there was a menu for Greek letters in here and things like that as well. Let's see here, Greek's right there, because definitely with pre-calculus and calculus, you're going to be using pi a few times, and that's right here, right? All you have to do is click it. But we have the whole Greek alphabet here. And if you're a math or physics major, and I imagine chemistry uses quite a bit of it too, but I'm not as familiar with chemistry. It's a good idea to learn your Greek letters because they really show up a lot. Okay, so now let's look at something a little bit more complicated. So those are like the basic things. Let's see. Oh, let's start with, let's actually just type the slope formula. Let's say I wanted to use the slope formula, and I just wanted to put it right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and insert. We will go to, there we go. We'll go to equation. Boom. Now, the slope formula is a fraction. So that means we have to put the fraction there first. When you do these, you want to be thinking reverse order of operations. The fraction is the last thing you compute, so it's actually the first thing you type. And just for vocabulary's sake, each one of these little squares that lights up, when you enter these are called environments. So when I refer to getting out of a particular environment, that's leaving, that's doing what I just did and getting out of the ability to type in that particular little square. Okay, so we go back to this environment, And we remember that the slope is a change in y over a change in x. So that means we need y2 minus y1 in the numerator. So let's do y, and we need a subscript. So I'll click subscript 2. Now, something weird happens when you get out of these environments with sometimes with the subscripts and superscripts. It does it with other things too. But it changes the way it looks for a moment until you type the next thing. So watch what happens when I get out of this environment of that subscript. It changed the way it looks, but as soon as I type the minus, it puts it back the way it was. So there is a little bit of that. I can't actually predict when it's going to do that. I just kind of accept it. Okay, so we got y2 minus y1, right? And then we'll just tab out of that environment or get into this environment here. And then we need x2 minus x1, right? And then we just insert the equation, and boom, we have a beautiful slope formula, just the way you learned it before. Excuse me. Okay, so we've done a couple of things there. Now let's look at something a little bit different. Let's say we want to look at the distance formula, right? And the distance formula has a square root in it. So I wonder if I can do this. No, I can't. Okay, so let's just go ahead and type it. So we know the distance formula is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So let's go ahead and insert that. So we insert equation. Okay, so the distance formula, the distance is equal to, now we need a square root. So I'm going to look up here and I see a square root. Let's see if that's the one I want. That sure looks like it. Okay, so now we have to put that difference of x2 minus x1. If you open parentheses, it puts the other parentheses there for you. What I just typed was shift 9, which is just an open parenthesis, but it actually gave you both of them. So now I need to type my x2 minus x1, and that's squared, right? So let's see here. I need a superscript. Let's do superscript. Okay, we squared it. Now we need to put a plus, and we need to open up some more parentheses. And from there we do y2 minus y1. And then we want to, I want to use these. I want to square it, and then I get out of that entire environment. And so that is our distance formula as well. Now notice the way we typed a lot of this in. I put the square root first, then I built everything that was inside the square root. Now when I did that, I think we lost something here. Let's put a superscript right here. There should be a square there. Let's try it now. That's better. You notice how weird it looked just now? Yeah. So in any case, when we built this, we did the square root first. So that's the outside of the whole thing. Then we opened up these parentheses, and I put what was inside of that, and then put the square on it. Then I put what was inside of this and put the square on it. Now, you notice that's exactly opposite of the order of operations. I would have started with these things, then I would have squared, then I would square root if I was computing this with numbers. So you have to think about how things are constructed mathematically to use this equation editor. Anyways, that should get you started as far as that goes. And so I wish you guys the best of luck. And until next time, let's go ahead and keep our pencils and wits sharp.